Vandeham Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna, welcome to the program. My name is Shanta Vigraha Dasa, and today I'd like to speak a little bit about Lord Chaitanya. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, in a very famous bhajan, he has said, Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Suta Hoilo Sei Balaram Hoilo Nitai. Now in this age of Kali Yuga, who is known as Brajendra Nandana? And who is that Brajendra Nandana? None other than Shri Krishna. That Brajendra Nandana say that Brajendra Nandana Krishna has appeared as Sachi Sutta Hoilo say, as the son of Sachi Devi, who is also known as Lord Chaitanya. And his brother Balaram has appeared as Lord Nityananda. So who is Lord Chaitanya? One time, Srila Prabhupada was speaking with some of his disciples, and they were about to formally join the tradition as Srila Prabhupada's duly initiated disciples. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to test them. Were they qualified to formally join this process of Krishna consciousness as his disciples? So the first disciple came and he asked them, who is Krishna? And the disciple smiled. He couldn't imagine an easier test than this. He said, Srila Prabhupada, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada said, yes, you can be initiated. The second person who came, Srila Prabhupada asked him, and who is Lord Chaitanya? And the person smiled, just as easy as the first question. He said, Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya is the most merciful incarnation of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada very gravely said, no, he is not an incarnation. He is Krishna himself. He is Krishna himself. In this age of Kali Yuga, Krishna comes again as himself in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Now, you hear this term, I used it previously, incarnation. And I simultaneously said that Lord Chaitanya is not an incarnation, he is Krishna himself. But loosely, when the Lord comes into the material world, he comes to walk, to be with his devotees, to be within this creation of the material world, to perform pastimes with his devotees. We loosely say that he has incarnated. He has accepted a human form, although he comes himself. So when it comes to Lord Chaitanya, not many people know about him. Even within Hindu culture, many people don't know about him. I remember many years, maybe about over 30 years ago, I was attending one Ramayana satsang with a temple group I belong to and still belong to. And we were going out with one local Pandit to do a Ramayana satsang. And admittedly, when we would go to Ramayana satsang, even though we would like to participate in the musical singing and chanting and so on, one of the things we were looking forward to more than anything else, quite honestly, was the food that would come after. You know, and the Pandit knew my reputation as being a very voracious eater, and he looked at me and he said, how come you're not eating? And I said, today is the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya, so I'm fasting. I won't eat today. I'll break my fast the next day. And he said, yes, actually I saw that on the calendar. Today is the appearance day of Chaitanya Swami. So, and I said, no, he's not just Chaitanya Swami. he's actually Krishna himself. And he said, yes, yes, yes. So even him, as pious and as knowledgeable as he was, he knew that it was the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. However, he just thought it was an ordinary Swami. So what I'd like to speak to in the first part of today's little talk is, what is an incarnation of the Lord in terms of who can we accept as being an incarnation of the Lord? We want to be very safe in understanding who is an incarnation of the Lord. The Vedic scriptures, they always speak about incarnations of the Lord. So we cannot just accept anyone or anything as an incarnation. Rather, we have to be very safe in our judgment. So what is that safe? The first thing when accepting someone to be an incarnation is that incarnation has to be referred to in scriptures. It is not that we can accept anyone or anything as an incarnation. That person, that individual has to be mentioned in scriptures. So the question we must ask, is Lord Chaitanya mentioned in scriptures? And the answer is yes. I'll give a few examples. In the Ananta Samhita, it is said, Ya eva Bhagavan Krishno Radhika Prana Vallabha Shristyado Sa Jagannato Gaura Asin Maheshwari. The Supreme Person, Krishna himself, who is the life of Srimati Radharani and is the Lord of the universe in creation, maintenance and destruction, appears as Gaura, O Maheshwari. In the Vayu Purana, it is said, Kalau Sankirtanarambhe Bhavishyami Sachi Sutaha. In the age of Kali, when the Sankirtan movement is inaugurated, I shall descend as the son of Sachi Devi. So here is another indication that shows that Krishna himself is saying, in this age of Kali, when the chanting of the holy names of God is inaugurated as the religious practice for this age, he will appear as the son of Sachi Devi. And these are just two indications that are given, and there are many, many more, but I'll just stick to these two in the interest of time. The next thing is, what is the attributes of this person who we are accepting as an incarnation, and is there any astrological indication that is given to support that this individual is an incarnation? So if we apply that to Lord Chaitanya, and we see, for example, in the Adi Leela, chapter 3, verse number 41 through 45, the attributes and indications are given for Lord Chaitanya's divinity. So that is A. F. Not only do we accept the word of scriptures, not only do we accept the indications given by the astrological calculations and by observing the attributes of the incarnation, we also have to verify that by the acharyas, by great devotees who have deeply understood and internalized and realized these subject matters. So great acharyas like Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Nilambar Chakravarti, amongst many others, have all accepted that yes, Lord Chaitanya is in fact an incarnation of Krishna, and more than being an incarnation, as I mentioned previously, he is Krishna himself. So, S, we have to take indication given from scriptures. A, we have to see what are the astrological calculations given and what are the attributes of the incarnation. F, we have to follow the line of the great teachers that have come before us, who have confirmed what was said in Shastra and who have confirmed the astrological calculations and the divine attributes that the incarnation has. And E, An incarnation doesn't perform ordinary activities. An incarnation of the Lord performs extraordinary activities. And that was seen in the character of Lord Chaitanya. What are some of these magnificent activities he performed? He traveled throughout the length and breadth of India, spreading the chanting of the holy name. He had discussions with some of the greatest scholars in all of India, demonstrating that the chanting of the holy name of Krishna was indeed the religious practice for this age of Kali. He performed many miracles, like bringing persons who have died back to life, which he did to one of his associates' children. He cured people who had chronic diseases and very serious ailments of the body. And on top of all that, he displayed a love for Krishna that was unseen in the history of this universe, except in the character of Srimati Radharani and the gopis of Vrindavan. So Lord Chaitanya, if we accept Lord Chaitanya as being an incarnation of Krishna, and if we accept Lord Chaitanya as being Krishna himself, we are very, very safe. It is confirmed in scriptures. The astrological calculations and the attributes are all in alignment. The acharyas have agreed upon it, and we can see from the historical records of the extraordinary activities that Lord Chaitanya performed. So indeed, he is safe. We are safe in the camp of Lord Chaitanya. Another way we can tell the greatness of a personality is how much was written about that personality. So Lord Chaitanya, there were many biographies that were written about Lord Chaitanya, both in his time and after his time. For example, the Sri Chaitanya Charita by Murari Gupta is one of the authorized biographies of Lord Chaitanya. Murari Gupta was a very close associate of Lord Chaitanya, especially in the Lord's childhood, and he recorded many of the Lord's activities in his diaries. Another important biographical work of Lord Chaitanya is the Chaitanya Mangal by Lochan Das Thakur, the Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur, the Chaitanya Chandramrita by Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, the Chaitanya Dayavali by Prajumna Mishra. And the crown jewel of all the biographical works of Lord Chaitanya is the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which Srila Prabhupada A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami has not only translated from the Bengali, but he has given word-for-word translations of each word of every verse, and he has written very authorized commentaries on many of the verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita by making reference to many scriptures and many writings of the previous acharyas in our line. So certainly we can accept Lord Chaitanya as being very safely an incarnation of Krishna, and more correctly as Krishna himself. So having said that, what are the essential teachings of Lord Chaitanya? It is said by one acharya that Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavana Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Martamidam Vargena Ya Kalpita. That Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya, Vraja Isha Tanaya, Vraja Isha is Nanda Maharaj, and Vraja Isha Tanaya is the son of Nanda Maharaj. So, Chaitanya, one of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's primary teachings, even though he's Krishna himself, he's saying that our primary duty should be to worship Krishna, who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. This is the first point. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya. And especially we should worship Krishna as he appears and as he is worshipped in Vrindavan, in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya Tadham Vrindavanam. And especially the highest form of that worship is manifest in Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. The best form of that worship of the residents of Vrindavan is seen in the method of worship as performed by the cowherd damsels of Vrindavan, the Braja Gopis. Why? Because they gave their complete self in the service of Krishna, regardless of what persons might perceive as their reputation being destroyed. Despite that, despite people saying, no, you shouldn't worship Krishna and so many things, they gave completely their life to Krishna. Completely they gave their life to Krishna. So, Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. And if we want to understand these finer details about loving Krishna, especially in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan, and especially in the mood of those who love Krishna the best, that is the cowherd gopis of Vrindavan, where should we get that information? Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. The Bhagavad Puran or the Srimad Bhagavatam is the best place that gives us that knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. Why? Because the conclusion of the Bhagavatam is Prema Pumarto Mahan. Just try to love Krishna. Just try to love Krishna. Why? Because he's so nice. And the final line of this verse says, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam. This is the opinion. These are the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Vargena Yakalpita. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not only an incarnation, he is Krishna himself, and he has come in this age of Kali Yuga for teaching us how to love Krishna, for teaching us how to love himself. And not only is this teaching it, he is demonstrating how to do it in the mood of a devotee. It's quite interesting that even though he is Krishna himself, he is not exhibiting the mood of being the supreme controller, the supreme Ishvara, the supreme personality of Godhead. Rather, he is demonstrating the mood of being a devotee. And therefore it is said, Anarpita Chadimchirat Karunaya Avatir Nakalo Samar Paitum Unato Jwalarasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Dyuti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandares Puratuva Shachi Nandana. This is a very, very beautiful verse written by Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali Yuga by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before. The most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service in the mood of conjugal love. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us something that is not generally made available. And he's giving us by tasting it himself. And the prime method that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught for entering into the ocean of devotional service to Krishna is by chanting the holy name of the Lord. And actually, if you look at most, practically all bona fide religions of the world, they are all based on glorification of God in their own way. They may not have the details or express things in the way we would express as followers of the Vedic culture. However, they do accept that one should glorify God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us that this material world is a place of suffering. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Abrahma bhuvana aloka punar avartin arjuna. From the highest planet in this material world down to the lowest, all places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But still, if one wants to become free from the suffering that is imposed on us in this material world, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us the method. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. He says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. That when one begins to cleanse his heart through the chanting of the holy name, it is not that the miseries of this world cease to be. Rather, Bhava Mahadavagi Nirvapanam, we become insulated from those miseries. We become insulated from those miseries. And therefore, if we want to rise above the suffering condition that is imposed upon us in this world, we have to take to the method that was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is chanting of the holy names of God. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Shri Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Rama Karuna Pahu Dvijana Nitai Gaura Chanda